BRB, about to go and mutilate my face.
I find you very rude.
The Novympia channel is made possible by our gorgeous patrons who get early access, exclusive content, and buyer's remorse.
And a Frida Kahlo to our newest patrons: Anna Searle, Sean Breen, Emma Vep, Careless Kitty, Elaine, Jamie Martin, Deanne Wilson, Mike Ruiz, Jessica and Devon, and Alan Bow.
Let's start the shit show.
Hi guys, it's Nova here. I'm about to do something potentially very traumatic, completely self-inflicted, and I thought I should really be documenting the experience, the event, especially in case it's all a terrible mistake and I need to have evidence that I bought this on myself. I can't blame anyone else. It's only myself that I have to blame. I'm gonna shave off my eyebrows. I have really good eyebrows, like, no offense, people who don't, but my eyebrows are great. They're dark, they're thick. They've got quite a good natural shape to them. I do not shape them at all, only in the middle here where I get a few strays here. I'll wax those myself, but otherwise all of this is au natural, and I really like my boy brows. However, they are dark and they are thick, so trying to cover them when I'm in drag adds a lot of time onto my makeup routine, and you can almost always see a little bit of texture on my brows. Now, some people don't mind this. I've never really had any comments about it from other people, but it is time consuming and it does annoy me, and I would love to see what it's like to apply drag makeup on a completely smooth surface. Charmaine's recently done this because she's been working a lot more in drag at her local bar, and it has shaved a lot of time off her routine, although she admittedly doesn't look any better. But I mean, for me, I can't see myself rocking like an eyebrowless look all the time, so I have invested in some lace eyebrows, also known as eyebrow wigs. I've got a couple of pairs here, and we'll talk about those more in a bit, but I'm hoping that this will be a good alternative for when I'm going out and I don't want to look like an alien. I could just put these on and I'll look like a normal human being again. Here's a close-up of my brows so you can get a really good look at them, and I'm going to use this to compare with the lace brows as well. Excuse my hideous face, I'm not wearing a stitch of makeup at all. I've not really been up for that long either. I woke up about an hour ago. So this is like me, completely natural, fresh-faced and exposed for all of you. I don't know really what could go wrong with this. I feel like there's a potential of, I don't know how it's gonna grow back. Sometimes on my stubble I get ingrown hairs. The thought of having an ingrown hair in my eyebrow makes me cringe to the extreme. But there's only one way to find out really. I also don't know how long it would take to grow back. When I wax the middle bit here, I normally get a couple of weeks out of it and then it starts to grow back. So we shall see about that. I'm just hoping that I'll be able to apply makeup really super fast and the most blended colours and shadows that you've ever seen in your life. I don't see why, once I've shaved off my brows, I don't just turn into the Vivian, personally. That is the goal, that's what I'm expecting, just complete flawless face. Olympia's really against this. She is not a fan of the idea of me not having eyebrows, so I'm going to get her to film me shaving them off right now. Okay, let's go.
Well, we're on.
I know. I'm procrastinating.
What's going to happen now then?
I'm going to look hideous. I'm going to look like a mole person.
What are you doing today, please?
I think I'm going to trim it down first because it's quite long and quite thick, and I feel like that's going to be a nightmare to shave with a clean razor, don't you think?
Oh God, I don't know. Oh, yeah, probably.
So...
No, I don't know, because there isn't that much hair really.
I don't know. Right.
Hate it.
Oh no. Ow. I feel like I just cut myself, I can't see it. Oh, I did just nick myself. Just there.
What? What?
Just cut myself.
Well, why were you focusing it there?
Didn't mean to. Shall I use shaving foam, do you think?
Yeah.
That feels pretty good actually.
Good?
Yeah.
Why?
Like the stubble. Surprisingly difficult, you know. It's a weird shape.
You got a massive manly brow bone, is that the problem?
Yeah.
Can you even believe you're going to be getting a jag later on? You're not going to have to cover your brows. Is it gross?
Yeah.
You look gross.
It's really awkward as well because it runs into your eyes. It's not as hideous as I was expecting. That is really unfortunate. I've just cut myself there though.
Will get better.
I must have had the trimmer at the wrong angle.
You don't actually look that much different.
It's like, I'm like imagining they're still there. Do you know what I mean? Because like I can see like the shapes of like my actual skin and muscles and stuff. Like my head is like filling in the gaps, and like when I look at myself, I can still see them.
I don't know if there's also like is there a bit of a shadow? No, I guess there isn't. Like stubble, like a 5 o'clock shadow kind of thing.
A little bit, yeah.
It doesn't change your appearance nearly as much as it changed Shah's appearance, but I suppose she can't afford it because she's so dirty looking.
Right, well, thanks for your assistance.
Bye.
So I feel like with my glasses on, you don't really immediately notice, but when I take them off, 2 days has passed since I originally shaved them, so there is a little bit of stubble coming through. I reckon they'll probably grow back pretty quickly, but now we're going to have a look at my eyebrow wigs, lace eyebrow options. So I bought 2 pairs. These were about £10 from AliExpress. I'll put all the information in the description box below. And then I also bought these, and they were about £20 from eBay. The more expensive ones do look nicer. They're a little bit thicker, and the cheaper ones are a little bit thinner, and a little bit more kind of like scraggly. But I can see straight away that both of these are going to be way too dark. These look more groomed. These might look a little bit more natural. I'm not really sure, but I'm going to try on these ones just as they are now, so we can all have a good laugh at how ridiculous they look. If people have no idea what lace eyebrows are, think about the lace on a lace front wig. It's basically that, but people have tied very short hairs and made little eyebrows onto it. Okay, I just quickly put contacts in off camera because I thought that'd be a lot easier for putting these babies on. Literally holding them up against my eyes. They're very, very dark. But let's stick one on. I'm going to be using Spirit Gum, but because I don't want to be wearing them for ages, I just want to put them on really quickly to see what they look like. I'm only going to be dabbing on a tiny, tiny little bit. Maybe just like 3 little dots, like either end and at the arch. What I've also seen people do, and I don't know if this is just like not related at all, but I've seen people like wipe their brows down with alcohol first to make sure the surface is completely clean. So that's what I'm going to do here. Make sure that it all sticks properly. I've got a photo as well for reference of what my natural brows look like for the placement, because it's actually harder than you would think. You think you know where your eyebrows are, but actually getting it just right is harder than you think. So I've got my photo here, and let's have a little look at placing them. Okay, so here they are, as they are, without any trimming, without colouring. I've not stuck them down properly, so you can see like the edges lifting a little bit. It's just because I don't want to get them so full of glue before I've done anything to them. First impressions, they're not identical, like they're not perfectly symmetrical. They're slightly different shapes, which does make them look a little bit crazier. They're clearly way too dark. I have very dark brows anyway, but these are almost black, so that's an issue. I think it kind of makes them look kind of sharpied, which isn't great. And the shape is so nearly like my brows, but my brows are rounder at the top. They don't have such an angled arch. So I feel like that needs to be trimmed down, and that might make a big difference straight away. I'm gonna take these off and try the other ones on, and we can compare. These feel a lot softer, and the hair is a lot longer on them as well. It's kind of creepy. Okay, so these are the cheaper ones that I got from AliExpress. And I feel like from afar, these look better than the other ones, but I think it's probably because they're not quite as thick. Up close, they do look a lot crazier, just because like the hair itself is so much longer. Especially like here, I've got some weird wispy bits. But again, I do feel like both pairs are workable. I just need to do some customizing and try to colour them, which is what I'm going to do next. So I'm going to take this off and we'll talk about the next steps. Okay, so I have these here and I've got my reference picture just here. So I'm going to try and copy the shape as much as I possibly can. I feel like first of all, my brows kind of taper outwards on the inside. So I'm going to do that a little bit first, and I'm hoping this isn't going to fuck up like the whole shape of them. And they're quite thick at the arch here, so I'm going to round that out a little bit. I'm much happier with the shape of these now. So the next thing I'm going to do is try my best to bleach them. They're supposed to be human hair, so in theory they should lift with bleach, and I'll show you exactly how I'm going to do that right now. So when dealing with bleach, always wear gloves because it will irritate your skin if you get any on you. I've never tinted or lifted brows before, but being a hairdresser, I do know about bleaching hair, so we'll see what happens with this. I'm using some blue bleach powder and 20 vol 6% peroxide, and I'm going to mix it together about 50-50, so it's kind of like a runny paste. I don't really know how to go about getting these properly covered, but I'm wondering if maybe just brushing it on top might leave some of the darkness underneath and make it look a bit more multi-tonal. I don't know. We can always put more bleach on afterwards if we're not happy with it. So here goes nothing. Okay, so my eyebrows are covered in bleach. I'm gonna leave this for, oh, it's so hard to tell. Dark hair normally takes a very long time to lift. This hair is particularly dark. I don't want it to go blonde. I just want it to be a bit lighter. I'm also concerned that these are gonna go bright orange or yellow. So I do have some toner that I can put on afterwards. This is all an experiment. I really don't know how it's gonna go. It really depends on the quality of the hair, if it's human hair at all, because if it's synthetic hair, this is not gonna lift at all. But I think I might play a timer on for 10 minutes and let's just see where we are with that and take it from there. It might take 20 minutes, it might take half an hour. We don't really know. So I'm gonna pop a timer on now and I'll be right back with the results.
A few minutes later.
It's only been 10 minutes, but I can see they're already starting to lift. It's very subtle, but that to me proves that they are in fact human hair and we're not wasting our time. So I'm gonna give this another, so hard to say, 15 minutes. Gonna give it 15 minutes and see what happens.
A little longer than a few minutes later. Much later.
Okay, so this is after 40 minutes. Compared to the other ones, it is quite a bit lighter now. They still look pretty dark, but once they're rinsed off and they're dried, I'm hoping they're gonna look a little bit lighter. So I'm gonna see now what they actually look like and whether we want a toner or if they're gonna be okay. And there's quite a big difference now. The colour looks pretty good. Maybe a little bit kind of on the yellowy ginger side, but I don't know, I think that looks pretty good. You can see the ones on the top are the other brows that I have not coloured, and I'm using those for comparison because they were basically the same colour beforehand. It's kind of fucked up some of the hairs a little bit. They're not like lying in the same place that they were before, but I'm gonna leave these for a little bit to dry completely and then I will try them on. These are now both completely dry, so I'm gonna try to glue them on properly and see what we think about the final result. this is them stuck on, and I think we're so nearly there now. They're looking really, really good. I just think, looking at my reference picture, looking at my reflection, I think the tails are coming down a bit too much. So I want to angle out a little bit. So unfortunately, that does mean I'm going to have to take them off again and just trim the tails a little bit. But I think we're so nearly there, guys. I think these are kind of great. Like, the only thing that's out of my control in terms of making them look like my natural brows is the density. I don't feel confident enough to kind of go in and pluck individual hairs out, because my natural brows towards the tails kind of get a bit thinner, and underneath as well I might have some stray hairs. So these are kind of like very perfect brows. But I'm looking in a mirror from across the room, and there might be a little bit more manicured than I'm used to. I don't normally make this much effort with making my brows look nice and tidy, but I think they look pretty good. I feel like no one's gonna clock this if they saw me walking down the street. Olympia is out at the moment, but when she comes home, I'm going to see what her reaction is and try to film it and see what she thinks.
Oh,
What do you think?
are they the ones you're supposed to have lightened?
Yeah.
Are you actually filming this?
Yeah.
Do you want my real answer or pretend one?
Real.
Well, they look the fucking same.
I think they look way better.
Who are you coming as?
I think they look alright.
You're like Eugene Levy, get them off.
No, I think they look alright.
They're a bit suspicious. Like, I'm sure, like, the straight man in Waitrose is gonna like just not look at them, but like some people are gonna be like, that's suspicious.
I describe them as like being way more manicure than I would ever like make my brows, because like I don't normally shape them or tint them or anything, but I think they look real. No?
Real crazy. You need to
Right.
lighten them. You need to lighten them more.
So obviously Olympia thinks they look completely ridiculous, but I just sent a picture to Shah and she said they look exactly like my normal boy brows. I think they look pretty damn good. I'm gonna wear these now for a few hours and I will report back on how wearable they are, how comfortable they are, and also how easy they are to take off. Do I get any skin irritation? How easy are they to clean? All of that jazz.
2 hours later.
So I've been wearing these for a couple of hours now and they're super comfortable. There's no irritation, they just feel completely natural. I poked my head over our back garden fence to see our neighbour Vesuvia, and she said to me, she didn't notice at first, but she did eventually say, "Oh, who's done your eyebrows? They look very nice." And I said, "Oh, I wondered if you'd mention those." Yeah, and I was explaining to her that they're not actually real, and she thought that was very interesting. But she also said to tell Olympia that she likes them. So I think this, for me, is definitely wearable. I'm happy with this. I think it looks natural enough. And I'm hoping this can be now like a go-to way for me to have eyebrows when I've shaved them off.
So here's a cute little side by side so you can really see the difference. Obviously the top is my lace eyebrows, bottom is natural brows. And then here is what my makeup looks like on shaved brows as opposed to covering with the glue stick on the bottom.
So what I'm going to do now is take them off, and I'm going to have a look about washing them as well and see what that could be like. So I don't really know how easy these are going to be to take off. I'm thinking what I'm probably going to do is take a cotton pad, soak it in some spirit gum remover, and then just soak that through the brow for a few seconds, and I'm hoping they'll just slide off because I don't want to use any force. I don't want to be like messing up the skin underneath, and I don't want to damage the brows either. So I'm thinking if I just do a bit of this action, you see, just holding it in place and just dab it over. Well, they came off super, super easy. There's a tiny bit of redness underneath where the brow was, but otherwise it seems to be okay. And then I'm just gonna go with the makeup wipe. That was easy. So if I repeat for the other one. And now I'm a naked mole rat again. In terms of the brows themselves, there is a bit of glue residue left on there, but it's not a whole lot, and I can still see through it because I did use a very, very small amount. So I'm just going to try to use a cotton bud now that I'm going to dip into the spirit gum remover, and I'm going to see how well that takes it off. That was honestly so easy, it's not even worth showing you on camera. I just used a cotton bud, dipped into some spirit gum remover and just carefully wiped off the excess glue, and now they're like new again. I really think so long as you use a minimal amount of glue, I could probably get quite a few wears out of these. So I'm gonna pop them back in their bag and I will get them out for another special occasion. I'm super happy that worked out. I really like having boy brows, but I'm not confident enough to try to draw them on myself. I really struggle with drawing brows on that aren't like super thick, graphic drag brows. That's like the only brow I know how to wear. And that's not really the kind of look that I go for when I'm out of drag. I do definitely want them to look more natural, so I'm glad I now have that option. I feel like now I can continue to shave my brows for drag, and if any time I'm going out for dinner or popping on like a Zoom call or something, I can just stick these babies on and I'll look normal, semi-normal. Like I said before, I will pop all the information in the description below, including the type of bleach that I used and the links to where you can buy both of these sets of eyebrows. These I have now is just kind of spare. I don't know, maybe I'll try to lighten these as well. I can do something with them, but these ones that I bought off eBay are definitely better. They're much better quality, and I'm a bit concerned about if I bleach these, maybe they'll just like disintegrate. I don't know, they don't seem like as good quality. I'd love to hear about your experiences with lace eyebrows. If you have experimented with them before, please leave me a comment and let me know what you think about them. Any tips and tricks that you think I would really benefit from, that would be great. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a like and subscribe to our channel. All of our social media is in the description box below, and there'll be a message about the Patreon after this. Oh my god, speaking of the Patron, we have some patron birthdays. Happy birthday to Adjoining Bungalows, that's such a cute name. December 13th, and then December 16th we had Stuart B. Happy birthday, Stuart. December 17th was James B. Happy birthday, James. Which Bitch Apollo had their birthday on the 19th of December, another great name. Jennifer SG, December 20th was your birthday, happy birthday, doll. And last but not least, we got, well, this actually might be least, Uttermost Shite, not my words, theirs, also on December 20th. Happy birthday, guys. Mwah. Alright then, I'm gonna go. Bye.
Join the Patron, we'll do a shot of Patron.